Got Ashley, Shelly, Gladys. How are you ladies doing here today? I've been running around all day almost, seem like. I got a big grocery order that came in this morning from that anonymous subscriber. I said, oh my goodness, it was work putting it up. I had so much. But that's a nice problem to have, huh? Yeah, I don't know where Connie is. It's 84, 85 here right now. It's pretty warm. And I got to get in there and finish my floor in the bedroom, but I'm not going to do that till after the live. I was afraid I'd get in there and get involved in doing that, and I'd pass the time for my live. So, how's Kathy 2010 and Ashley and Shelly, Sheila, Gladys? We've got a Sheila and a Shelly here today. Yeah, I'm making headway in the bedroom, but I've got my little single bed in the living room. Can't sit on the couch and watch TV till I get the floor done and get all that stuff moved back in the bedroom. Well, thanks for coming, Sheila McDaniel. Glad to have you. I had to run to Home Depot and get another box of nails. I ran out of nails again. Well, there's only 50 to a package of the screws that I've been using, and I should have got two boxes last night when I was in there, because normally I buy the big box of deck screws, which is like 150 screws in there, but I didn't get those this time. Yeah, I'll be so glad when I get that floor done in there so I can move everything back in there and clean my house up a little bit. Clean up my patio. I mean, it's got sawdust all over it. I got wood back there. I got saws piled up at my doorway here. It's a mess, y'all. Yep, there's Connie. How's Connie doing today? And we got Spencer Love. Hello, Spencer. How's Spencer today? Joanne Dula. Hello. Yeah, it's basically a hot summer day here today, and it's just spring. I mean, it's just April, and it's hot. Yeah, Connie sent me a picture through Messenger of the cross that she just pulled out of the mold. Oh, it was beautiful, y'all. That's a beautiful cross. I'd show you a picture of it, but I can't access Messenger because I'm using the camera on the phone, so. Yep, it's a nice, warm, sunny Sunday afternoon. Usually my lazy days, but I'm going to get after it after my live's over and probably try to finish the corner of that bedroom, because I've got all the wood down and glued and screwed down except for right in the very corner where the computer table is. So now at least the rest of the floor is fixed so I can move it all over and go ahead and do that corner. And then I've got to put down the lines for the faux plank floor. And then I've got to seal it before I can move anything back in there. I've got like a sealer, or it's like a clear coat that keeps anything from staining the wood or keeps it from getting wet, that type of thing. I'm going to keep it pretty much the color it is, just the wood color. I think before I put just a tiny bit, just a smidgen of stain in that clear coat. I don't know if I'll do that this time or not. We've got Ashley Chapman. Miss Weaver, hello. It's a nice surprise to see Miss Weaver in here today. How's your sister doing? Yeah, that picture she sent me of that cross, oh, it's beautiful, y'all. I wish I could show it to you. Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Weaver. She said it's not good news. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I just went back and saw that at Miss Weaver, that your sister's not doing very good. I'm so sorry to hear that. She's too young to be going through this. She is on palliative care. I was looking up a quote of the day to read because I've been coming up with a quote of the day on my lives here recently. And this is not really a quote, and I came by it by accident looking for the quotes. And I'm not sure I should read it or not, but it just struck me so funny. I said, man, I've got to read this on my live. If I can keep it up long enough to read it. It's about friends. And it just struck me so funny. I said, well, I've got to read this on my live just to let everybody else have a laugh. If I can find it again and keep it up long enough to read it. And I've been gluing my wood down this time for the big floor. The hallway and the little bathroom I didn't use glue on. But the bedroom floor, since it's a bigger floor, I'm using glue on it. That liquid nails. Here it is. If I can keep it from blinking off here. Oh, man. This is ridiculous, y'all. There's not even enough memory on this thing to keep the quote up so I can read it. Let me get it back again. Yeah, we're all going to be praying for your sister, Miss Weaver. And I found out from my subscriber the reason she sent so much food so fast. She wanted me to make sure that I was stocked up with meats and canned goods and frozen stuff and all this stuff because it's not looking good. Um, she was saying that she heard there was 26 more barges that came loose and were headed for bridges. Now, y'all, that's not an accident. If there's 26 of them in one day, that's not an accident. And she said if anything happens at this point, what she's afraid it's going to, she didn't think anybody was going to be leaving their house to go anywhere. So she wanted to make sure I was stocked up. And I'm stocked. I mean, I'm pretty well, my freezers are full, my refrigerator's full. But she thinks something's going to happen, especially too when the government steps in about the closed border and, coming from Mexico into Texas. She thinks something's going to come of that. But here it is. I'm going to read it real quick. It says, friendship is like pissing your pants. Everyone can see it, but only you can feel its warmth. Thank you for being the piss in my pants. I just cracked up when I read that, y'all. I couldn't help it. I don't know, y'all might not have been listening when I read that, but it just struck me so funny. I said, I've got to share this with the ladies and whoever's in my live. When I first read it, I said, I can't believe somebody actually put that up as a saying to the public. I mean, I think every time I see a baby wet his diaper, I think I'm going to think of this friendship saying. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. The things some people can come up with, y'all. Can I read it again? Hold on, I got to find it again. If it'll stay up long enough. Been trying to charge this thing up. It's down to like 30%. That might be why it won't keep the website open. And it was actually put on a heart plaque. So you could give it to a friend. I just thought it was hilarious. Okay, where are they? You got to go through half the website to get to it. Okay, where is it? Evidently, I scroll by it. Yeah, I was just scrolling looking for a quote for the day, and that's what I came up with. All right, now that's not the ones I'm looking for. Okay, y'all listen good. Friendship is like pissing your pants. Everyone can see it, but only you feel its warmth. Thank you for being the piss in my pants. To me, it's like, what? I love the piss out of you. Yeah. I said if I had to change a baby's diaper after reading that, I would think of that every time I did had to change a pissy diaper. Yeah, I'll be so glad when I get this floor finished and I can get all my stuff moved and straightened up back in the bedroom and get my house cleaned up. My house is turned upside down right now. Yeah, they have a point for sure. Gladys says I'm being good today. Well, your ugliness rubbed off on me, Gladys. That's the reason I had to read that today. Well, not so much ugliness, just honoringness, maybe. Yeah, I came across a lot of good quotes, but motivation and stuff. But I came across that and I said, oh, I got to read it. Yeah, it's going to be worth it when it gets all done. I mean, it had to be done because that leak in the bedroom not only messed up the bedroom floor, but it went about a foot into the bedroom, under the wall. So it had to be fixed. So therefore, I don't have carpet down to where I could just patch the floor. Therefore, I had to recover the whole floor. And I'd rather have the wood down than carpet anyway, 'cause with my allergies. This is a good motivation quote here. It says, you don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go, and see what happens. I know I've made plans off and on my whole life, and I've learned really not to make a whole lot of plans because a lot of things just don't end up the way I plan them. Things happen and it steers me in a different direction from what I planned. So it's like, well, so much for making plans to do something. Oh, the UN Security Council is supporting to be meeting now about Israel. Supposed to be me. I couldn't read the word behind the heart. Yeah, there's so much going over there. Everybody says there's going to be a World War III before it's over with. So my subscriber said she wanted to make sure I was stocked up on everything, in case something happens, because she said if something happens the way she thinks it'll end up is nobody's going to want to leave their home. You're not going to want to go to the store or anywhere. So you'll want everything that you need right in your house if it's at all possible. So I've got my refrigerator full. I mean, it's full. And I got my freezer full. So, and my cabinets are overflowing. So I think I'm pretty well stocked on stuff. I definitely won't go hungry. That's for sure. Case of water, soft drinks, another great big bag of cat food for little buddy because she didn't want little buddy to run out of cat food if something happened. So I've got 3 or 4 partial bags of cat food. Some I've been letting him eat out of. And then that new bag that it's like a 22-pound bag. I'm not sure what size it is, but it's about the size of a 22, something like that. Dry food, and she sent a case of cat, the canned food for little buddy. So my subscribers keeping little buddy stocked up for sure, and me too. Shelley said, guess I'll be eating dandelion greens. I've never eaten dandelion, but I know everybody says you can eat them. And I've got them growing in my yard. But I've never tried to eat them. Yes, it is nice and generous of my subscriber to be helping me out like this. I mean, that subscriber keeping me in food and stuff. I'm sorry. Breathing sawdust yesterday and glue last night, and I didn't have my mask on. It gave me a cough today. Well, I have rice, I've got beans, I don't have water purifiers. Yeah, happy birthday, Susan. Today's your birthday, isn't it? Everybody wish Susan a happy birthday. I mean, we'll probably have the month of April birthdays probably when Susan gets back from her vacation, and we'll celebrate all the April birthdays for this month. When I can get back on StreamYard and hopefully get all the birthday people up on screen with me. You gonna go see Dolly's? I know, I didn't even think about putting a mask on. I was so anxious to get everything started and get it done, though. I didn't even think about wearing a mask. Stampede tomorrow. What do you mean a stampede? Something going on that I don't know about? Stampede tomorrow, and then she says, gotta go. What is the stampede all about, Susan? Will somebody tell me? What is this stampede she's talking about? '78 Thursday. Doll Stampede and Dinner Show. I've never heard of it. Well, have fun and happy birthday. Just make the most of it. Have a real good time. I could have tried to get on StreamYard today since the 14th is when they said my time was going to start over, but I'm not sure if it would have actually started today or I'd have to wait till today and then maybe go live on StreamYard tomorrow. So to be safe, I just scheduled it on YouTube today. Yeah, I've never heard of this stampede you're talking about. Dolly Parton. Well, just have fun, whatever you do, and Susan. It's your birthday. Enjoy it. And I know I bought $200 worth of that plywood, and I think I've overbought because I'm going to have quite a bit of it left. But that's okay because I'm going to be using it in the rest of the house before long. I'm not going to do it right away, but I can use it in some of the rest of the house. So it's definitely not going to go to waste. My bathroom in there where my washing machine is, that floor needs to be completely recovered. I mean, it was patched before when the washer leaked, and that's taken care of, but it needs to have the wood put on top to make it level with the hallway. So all the floor throughout the house will be even. But it's okay for now because it's not that uneven. The floor's good. I'm not in a rush. Yeah, I've never been to Dollywood to see Dolly Parton or any of that. My mom and my brothers and my nieces, my sister-in-law, my mom, they started going up there about once a year for their vacation. I told Mom, I said, you should let me know when you're going. I said, I can plan a trip and at least meet you at Dollywood at the same time. But right after that is when they quit going because Mom wasn't really up to going up there anymore. She really wasn't up to it the last few times they went because she wasn't able to do that much walking. And there's Rudy. Hello, Rudy. Welcome. Yep, it's 3:27 p.m. Central Time. Weaver type 58 and 59. Your dad'll annoy your mom for the rest of his life. That'll never stop. At least you know as long as he does that, he's feeling okay. Imagine Weaver at 58, 59 degrees. I don't know what that's all about. Well, good for him, 94 years old and still able to do everything himself. He lived right in his life. I've got yellow squash on my squash bushes. They're not big enough to pick, but I've got like 4 or 5 yellow squashes on my plants already. On the two that are big enough. I didn't get them all planted at the same time, so those were the first two, the bigger ones, and they've got squash. What is this about? Now he's telling Sheila to type 69. What's that all about, Rudy? How old was your father 25 years ago? Well, it depends on how old he is now. That's kind of an odd question. I like to add and subtract quarter. Oh well, all that's kind of over my head. They're telling Miss Weaver to type 58 and something degrees. Oh no, he's right above Miss Weaver's last statement. She said, Rudy, why? It's Rudy Areta with autism. So I just said Rudy, the first name. That's what I was thinking, Kathy. Yeah, figured it was a troll. I got in trouble when I went to get the screws. I made the mistake of walking down toward the garden center, which I should not have done. And look what I found. Aren't those beautiful? They're all different colors, and that's the name of them. $5.98, and you get 12 bulbs. It don't look like there's 12 in there. They're little bitty things, but they're all different colors. And what caught my attention, it looks so much like a rose, but it's not a rose. And it was the last package there, so I said, well, it's the last package. They must be pretty popular, so maybe they'll grow halfway decent around here. So I bought them. I told the sales lady, I said, you know what? I came in here for just to get a package of screws to finish the floor. And here I am buying flowers, the first flowers or first plants of any kind that I bought this year. And hopefully it will be the last, because I'm not buying plants. I started everything in my garden so far from seeds. But those were just so pretty. I said, oh my God, they look like a rose, but it's not a rose. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's got autism, maybe. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, Connie. Because if he's truly got autism, he may be asking for numbers like that because he's got a thing with numbers. Where's the 3 squiggly lines at the top of the chat? They're there just like always. And if you go down by each person's name, there should be 3 lines there, or 3 dots, actually. Yeah, enable all live comments. If you got top chat, it won't show all the comments. So I try to make it a point when I open up a chat box on any of my videos, that I go up to the top and I choose live chat instead of top chat. So, ladies, if you're not seeing all the chats that we're talking about, just go up to the top right-hand corner of the chat box and click on that arrow where it says top chat and choose live chat. Change it to live chat. And you'll see all the chats that are coming in. I don't even know why they give you a choice. Why don't they just have it live chat and be done with it? Hi, Sharon. How is Sharon today? Glad you can make our live. And Randy had sent me a message saying she couldn't find my live chat, or my live that was supposed to start at 3. And this was at 2:30, and I told her, well, it's at 3 p.m. Central Time. So I'm surprised she's not in chat today, because she was looking for it 30 minutes ago. I didn't know it either till somebody told me one time. They said something that was in chat, and I didn't see it. And they said, well, that's because you're on top chat. You're not on live chat. They said, go up and choose live chat, and it'll bring in all of the people chatting. And it did. And I said, well, that is so crazy. Why did they even give you a choice? It should have all the chats in there. Regardless, you shouldn't have to just choose that option. And there's Dolores. Hi, Dolores. How is Dolores today? Glad you could pop in. Same day you learned about it, Kathy? Yeah, I didn't know it either. I mean, I was new to YouTube. I didn't know all these settings that were on there. Didn't even know they existed. Yeah, I just messaged and told her I'm live now. I don't know where she's at. You keep missing the chat crew. Well, I can understand. You know, you can't make every one of my lives. Yep, everything's fine here. I've been working on my bedroom floor trying to get that finished up. I don't even know what's for dinner. I haven't thought ahead. All I've had on my mind today was getting screws and finishing that floor in there. I may end up just eating a sandwich tonight. Well, my group is getting bigger, Sheila. Trying to find something. My last count on subscribers is 3,057. So whoop whoop for me for getting all those subscribers. I was pushing for 3,000 and I got 57 over 3,000. Hi, Randy. Yeah, now I'm headed for 4,000. I'll take 1,000 at a time. So it's 3,057 subscribers as of right now. And I am tickled to death. Yeah, woot woot. I worked hard for those subscribers, I'll tell you. Dot, dot, dot. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, it took a long time to even get up to 3,000, so it tickled me to death that I'm over 3,000 already. Hi, Rhonda. How's Rhonda? Everything's great here. Just been spending time working on my floor. So I'm kind of exhausted today. I worked pretty well up into the night last night on it. And finally, I ran out of screws and had to stop. I said, well, let me get this one last piece glued down and screwed in, and I'm done because that was all the screws I had. And I was not running back to Home Depot last night. I'd already went one time about dark and got screws. And I used all of them. So I went back this morning and got my box of screws to use on my floor. I could have got a bigger box, but I think 50 screws will do it for now. Whew, at least it'll finish up the floor and get all the stuff put back in the shed, get the patio cleaned up, get the saws put up, get everything back in the bedroom and get it straightened up. Get my house back to halfway normal and sit down and breathe for a few minutes. That's one reason I like having a Sunday afternoon live. It's because it forces me to sit down and not do nothing for a little bit except talk. Yep, there you are, Randy. Glad to see you made it. You get tired at watching me work. Well, thank you, Connie. I'm just filming bits and pieces of the floor because I didn't want to bore people with watching the whole thing. Because you've seen a lot of it before with the small bedroom in the hallway. And it's just kind of a repeat of all that. And I had so much stuff to move back and forth since I don't have anywhere to move it out to. I had to just like fill the little bathroom full of stuff. I had to move the bed out to the living room. And the rest of it, the computer table and other stuff, I'm just moving from one side of the room to the other as I need the space below it. Sheila said, I learned how to make biscuits the old-fashioned way. I had no idea it was so easy. I know it's easy. And I'm going to be making a 2-ingredient biscuit, too, that's real good coming up. And there's Seabreeze. Hi, Seabreeze. How is Seabreeze today? Rhonda Walsh, hello. I'm so thirsty. I sweated so much last night. I can't get enough to drink. Yeah, like I said, I got what I thought it was going to take to do that bedroom. But it looks like it's only going to take maybe half or a little more than half of the wood I bought. But it's better to have too much because I'm going to use it in the rest of the house anyway, eventually. Not right now. I'm going to take a rest from that bedroom first. Because I don't have anything else that's pressing to do. I mean, some of the other rooms need to be done. But there's not a problem with the floor, so I'm not pushed, to get it done in a hurry. One of these days, I'm going to think to put Connie's number in this little phone that I just get on the internet with that has no phone service. But I don't have her number in it. So I don't have access to getting her messages through this one. But I need to put her number in there, and then I can access it while I'm on the camera with the other one. Yes, everybody liked the video. I got 17 thumbs up so far. Ashley said we got the old pool down and the yard looks different now. I bet it does. Got your yard back. My wildflowers are getting so scrawny and big out in the yard. So it's looking kind of bad, but it won't be long before the blanket flowers bloom, and then it's going to be pretty if I can make it that long. Because it looks pretty bad right now until they start blooming, and then it's going to be beautiful. I gave in last year, and I thought it looked terrible, so I went out there and mowed. And then finally, the next time, I let most of the blanket flowers bloom. You planted tomato plants yesterday and greens. Well, good for you, Seabreeze. I harvested my greens not long ago, and oh my God, I got greens out there with leaves as big as an elephant ear already coming back. It's amazing how fast those things grow. And my daughter-in-law said, well, don't you let that Chinese cabbage head up? Well, no, you don't. It does not head up like regular cabbage that we know. You harvest the leaves and stuff off of it, but it does not head up. And if you leave it too long, it'll start putting out flowers and go to seed. So I broke off 3 or 4, I think, that had that. Plus the bok choy started going to seed. So I broke the tops off of that to keep it from going to seed. I know that nobody knows the old school way of doing anything anymore. The old school way of doing things was you didn't waste anything. I don't care what it was. Whether it was food, materials, you name it. You did not waste anything. And that's what saves you money, and people don't realize that. I mean, it's a shame. I think all the time of all these people that just dump food scraps in the garbage. And that's why you end up with dogs getting in your garbage, and the trash guys have to come in with the trucks that have automatic loaders because they can't pick those bins up full of food. It makes it too heavy. Well, if they'd save all of the savable food that someone, didn't eat, the leftovers, I mean, you can put it in soups, you can put it in stews. There's so much you can do with it and make another meal. And to me, that is saving your money. I grew up that way. I spent my whole married life doing that. So I don't care how old I get, how much money I might have coming in. I still will do that. I still will save my money because I don't waste anything. Just like my daughter-in-law, I had my shed open and I had a bunch of styrofoam sheets in there that come out of the freezer box, where it was packed. And normally I would have just put them in the fire pit. But I found I could use them as levelers to where I was putting the totes in the garden. And I threw a bunch of them in the shed in case I needed them. And she said, well, what is all those styrofoam pieces doing in your shed? I said, well, I found they're good levelers for my pots and my totes. And I says, I know there's way too many in there. And I probably don't need any more now, and I should get rid of them, but that's why they were there. Some of them were just the right width that I needed to go under one end of a tote or a pot to level it up. Sheila said, my dad is a Southern boy, so he loves all the food. Unfortunately, I don't know how to cook that stuff. My mom was a great cook. I wasn't interested when I was younger, so never bothered watching her. And that's a shame too, because that's the way my daughter was. I told my son, I said, why not give away my recipes on YouTube? I said, Margaret, my daughter, never seemed interested in learning how to cook, especially not anything that I was cooking. And I said, who knows, she might watch some of my videos and try to make one of the meals. You never know. Well, turnip greens or any kind of greens. If you got a ham bone, pieces of ham left over from when you had ham or something, it's good to throw those in the pot and cook your greens right in there with that ham bone. And then you can, just strain the liquid off of it when you go to eat them, when you put them in a bowl. And my cornbread and stuff, I never have put much sugar in anything because I don't want to add sugar to a lot of my dishes if I don't have to add it. So I might put just a tiny bit of sugar, but not much at all in cornbread. Sometimes I don't even put sugar in it. Well, thank you, Connie. I know I used to love to watch both of my grandparents cook because my mom's mother, we called her Nana. She was from New York, so she cooked Yankee style. And then my dad's mom, which is Grandma Ella Lee, she cooked country because they had a farm. Everything they ate came off the farm. I mean, she gathered her own eggs. She butchered her own chickens. I mean, I was up there many a Sunday when she'd go right out in the backyard, grab a chicken, wring its neck, and I'd help her pluck the feathers and, and she'd clean it and take it in the house and put it in the frying pan. That was some good fried chicken, too. Always had fresh eggs. They had their own milk and butter from the dairy cows that they had. They raised their own hogs, and they had a smokehouse, so they cured their own hams, sausages, bacon, whatever. It all came out of that smokehouse. Like I said before, most of what my grandma bought at the store was coffee, sugar, and flour, and maybe salt. Because even her cornmeal, they would take the corn to the mill and have them grind their corn up to make cornmeal. So they made their own cornmeal. Well, thank you, Seabreeze. So I tell everybody I'm a smorgasbord because I grew up partially in New York City, in Manhattan, and I grew up partially in North Carolina. And I think I've lived in Texas longer than any place. I've been here over 40 years. Yep, food tastes so much better back in the day. And you know, one key ingredient or one key thing that people back in the day did that they don't do today. They don't add 100 different spices to one meal. When my grandmother cooked chicken, fried chicken, she salt and peppered that. She floured it, fried it in lard, their own homemade lard that came from the hogs. And that was the best fried chicken you could ever eat. Today they got to put all these spices in the flour, and they got to do this and they got to do that. Well, years ago they didn't do all that. Just like the biscuit. My grandmother had milk from the dairy cow, and she'd add lard from the lard stand where they butchered their hogs to her flour. That was her shortening. She'd dip her hand in that 5-gallon lard stand and get her a scoop of that lard right in her hands, throw it in her pile of flour, add her some milk, and she was mixing it all up with her hands, her fingers. And those were the best biscuits you could eat anywhere. And I know it was that homemade lard that made them taste so good. That plus the fresh cow's milk that came in. Okay, Shelley. Be safe. And I remember my grandmother cooking collard greens and turnip greens and mustard greens. It was always done, usually with a ham bone thrown in. And sometimes they would fix cornbread dumplings. They'd take the greens out of the liquid in the pot, and you'd have enough liquid usually in that pot that you could make cornbread dumplings. And I thought they were best in the world. I've tried to make cornbread dumplings, but mine do not turn out as good as my grandmother's did. I don't know what she did that I don't do, but mine are okay. They just don't turn out as good as hers did. I think Wooden Indian is knocking at my door, Shelley. Yeah, see, they made their own butter. They take that fresh, thick, creamy cow's milk, put it in a jar and start shaking it up, and pretty soon you ended up with butter in there. Drain the excess liquid off and you had butter. She made her own buttermilk. And of course they had fresh cow's milk to drink every day. They had fresh eggs from their chickens every day for breakfast. I mean, it makes a difference when you grow up eating fresh, homegrown food rather than all the preservative food that you get in the store today. You know, the box stuff, the canned stuff. Everything has got all these preservatives added to prolong the shelf life of it. And I'm not putting it down because a lot of people can't grow their own food. They don't have access to dairy cows. They don't have all that. So going to the grocery store, buying it is the next best thing. But it was so much better not to eat those preservatives years ago than what they do now. You learn how to make buttermilk from me. It's easy. Well, I remember because I wouldn't drink the milk because I'm allergic to the whole milk, so I couldn't drink it. But my dad would, and he'd end up with a white mustache from the cream. The milk was so creamy that he'd end up with a white mustache right here of that cream on his mouth after drinking that milk. I always thought that was funny. It was so funny. My son was walking through the garden the other day with, and my daughter-in-law was with him, and I heard him say, "Well, what what can you put to your plants to make them grow and produce good and all this, that, and the other?" And she said, "Cow manure and chicken manure and all this good fertilizer is what the plants love." He said, "Well, I don't want to do that. I wouldn't eat my vegetables." She laughed at him and she said, "Well, what do you think they do in these stores or the places where they grow all this stuff that and ship to the stores? They put all that stuff to your vegetables to make them grow and produce." Well, the real fresh cow's milk, like I said, is real creamy because the cream in the milk hasn't been separated. I mean, a lot of times you can separate the cream from the milk, and that's what they do make the butter with. But my dad loved it right from the cow with all that cream. There was 3 or 4 inches of cream on top of that milk. And see, Sheila, fresh eggs are a little different than store-bought eggs. Most people that have their own chickens at home to produce eggs, to eat, they get the chickens that lay brown eggs, the most expensive eggs. And they taste a little bit different. The yolk is darker than the white ones are. And they haven't set in a store for a month before you buy them. Yeah, I never could drink the milk because I'm allergic to the fat content in milk. So I drink 2% or 1% fat-free milk. Yeah, there's a different taste to fresh eggs than what you will get from the store. I mean, the store-bought eggs are good. Don't get me wrong, but fresh eggs are better. Loretta, hi Loretta. She said her son gave her some eggs from their chickens and they were really good. Are so good. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference you can tell when you crack that egg open. You can't drink milk either. Well, like I said, I drink it, but I usually get the 2%, 1%, no fat milk. I don't drink the whole milk. I won't even try it today because when I was a kid growing up, if I drank the whole milk, I was nauseated. I felt like I was going to throw up. It just, ugh. So when I buy milk, I do get 2% or 1% milk. And my son had that allergy when he was first born because I had to put him on no fat milk when he was just a baby right from the hospital. That's all he could drink. But he outgrew it. He said now he can drink fresh whole milk and it doesn't bother him a bit. I said, "Well, you're lucky you outgrew it." Yeah, I really don't get into the soy milk and all that other stuff. I guess because I've just never been a milk person. You don't get into a lot of that different types of milk when you're start out being allergic to milk, you know. You kind of stay away from a lot of it. You don't even want to try. Yeah, I'd always put milk in my cereal. But usually when my mom got it, it was a low fat milk. And I remember she'd buy powdered milk years ago. It came in a box. It looked almost like a cereal box, but it was powdered milk. And usually it was the low fat milk. So she'd mix up a gallon of that, and I had no problem drinking it, and I'd put chocolate in it. You know, she'd buy chocolate syrup, I'd mix chocolate syrup in it. I could drink that all day. Didn't bother me at all. And put it in my cereal, didn't bother me. We used a lot of the powdered milk growing up. It was a lot cheaper then than it is now. I priced some of that powdered milk in the store, and I thought to myself, oh my God, it's outrageously priced. And years ago, you could get it for practically nothing. You like almond milk, Shelley or Sheila? But growing up, I remember I'd always put chocolate in my milk to drink it. But it was usually always low fat milk. And I don't know if my mom was allergic to milk or not, but she had basically the same allergies I had. And I've never seen her take a glass of milk and drink it. So I'm assuming she had the same allergy to milk that I did. I know I've got all the other allergies that she had, so I'm sure the milk was there too. Now, the chocolate, low fat milk or 2% milk, 1% milk, if it's chocolate, I can drink it all day. I don't even have to eat anything with it. I can just drink that glass of milk. I love it. And I remember when I went to school, usually I didn't drink milk unless they had the chocolate milk that was like low fat milk. Then I would get a carton of it. But sometimes they didn't always have it, so I didn't drink it. And there's April. Hello, lunch break. What's for lunch, April? My internet is wheeling again. It's got that wheel spinning. I hate that when it does it. Okay, I'm going to ask a question about one of my videos, and this is for seeds. In my last cooking video, what was I working with? What kind of food? You're having a bowl of lentils, April. You know, I've never eaten those. I don't know if I'd like them or not. My mom never cooked them, so I never grew up eating them. And I've never cooked them, so I don't know if I'd like them or not. I love all kind of dried beans, though. I ate a chicken biscuit, I guess for lunch earlier, because it came with the food order that was sent here, the grocery order. I pulled it out and I thought to myself, oh, it's like a chicken sandwich or something in there. And I opened it up and it was a chicken biscuit. And it was pretty good. No, not the last one. The very last, I think it was the very last, one day ago, I posted a video where I made something. What was I working with? And it even has it in the title of the video. What I do with my pen. You put ketchup on lentils? I thought lentils were like, kind of like a bean or something. Ah, Ashley Chapman got it. Tostadas. I was working with tostada shells. I was asking, what can I do with these tostadas? So way to go, Ashley. I think I've got your mailing address right. Let me look over here. Make sure I got it. I'll check and make sure I got it so you don't have to send it again. Well, I thought I had it. Yeah, I got it. So I'll be getting you some more seeds out. I think you won the last time. I'll try not to send you the same kind of seed this next time. Yeah, I said in my title, what can I do with a tostada shell? So that was pretty neat. I always thought the lentils were like little peas, kind of like split pea soup or something. I guess I'm wrong. But I can't imagine putting ketchup on peas, because I thought that was kind of what lentils were. Like I said, I've never eaten them. I've never cooked them. My mom never cooked them, so I didn't grow up eating them. So I don't I don't buy them because I've never cooked any. Well, you should get them pretty soon, Seabreeze, because I did mail them. Let's see, Seabreeze. I can send them again, but I've got your address here. You're in Mississippi, is it? It's MS, Missouri or Mississippi. I don't know which. Marathon MS. You should have gotten them already, though. But I'll send them out again. When I go to mail Ashley's, I'll send you more seeds just to be sure you get them. They don't taste like peas. What do they taste like, April? Seabree says, I just can't eat home eggs. Well, I heard somebody say on one of the videos, people were asking them, they had all those chickens in their yard laying all those eggs, and they just leave them there. I guess throw them away or let the chickens crush them. And they said, well, why do you do that? You got all those fresh eggs out there. And they made the reply that they don't eat yard eggs. I thought to myself, oh my God. I've never had lentils. I've eaten every other kind of dried bean or pea, but not lentils. April says, I don't eat meat, so I eat lentil beans. And stiff, it actually a very cheap way to eat. Huh. I'm going to have to get some and try them just to see what they are. So many people have mentioned that they eat lentils. I've never really even tried them. But I never would have dreamed you put ketchup on them. Yep, it's 4:06 or 4:17 p.m. now. Lentils have a taste all their own, huh? Well, I'll have to buy a small package of them and cook them and see what the fuss is about. Because I've never tasted them. I don't know. You like ketchup on everything? Yeah, I've eat all kind of peas and beans, but I've never tried lentils. I know I love the chow chow. You make it it's not a relish made with cucumbers. It's like a pickle relish that I make with green tomatoes. And my son said he'd rather have that than to have the pickle relish. Well, no, not on a cake. I don't want ketchup or chow chow on a cake, that's for sure. Speaking of cakes, I got a cake with that food order today. I got enough cake to last me for a month. Look at this cake, y'all. And you know what the name of it is? It's a socket to me cake. Socket to me cake. I've never had a socket to me cake before. But it looks yummy. LOL. Chow chow. Good on fried something. Oh, you got a storm coming, so you got to get caught up, April. I didn't realize that. Oh, chow chow on fried spam sandwich. I've never tried that. They didn't even think about it. I usually soak mine overnight, Linda Blaylock, to shorten the cooking time. If you'll put them in cold water, soak them overnight in the pot, and the next day drain that water off before you start cooking them, it helps speed up the cooking process, and they get softer quicker. I've never made a socket to me cake before, so I'm anxious to try that. Well, you know what? They started having green tomatoes and oh, what are those other things? The tomatillos in the grocery store here now. They didn't used to have them. She said, April says, Kai may be getting rain already. Yeah, maybe. It's coming from the opposite direction. Yeah, and I made cowboy candy two different ways too. I sliced it up, put it in a jar. That's the normal way that you make cowboy candy. The next time I made it into a relish. It's cowboy candy relish, but it's still the same hot peppers and all that. It's just chopped up like a relish. And I kind of like that better than I do the whole slices. You have 47 pint jars of chow chow. I didn't have that many peppers last year. I mean, I don't, my garden is not that big. I don't have that large a quantity on one item. It's just I can stuff when I have overabundance of something. Like one year, I had so many cucumbers, squash, and zucchini that were going out my ears. I was giving them away, giving them to my son, canning them, making pickles out of all of it. But that hasn't happened again since. And that was the year that I could still plant in the ground, that they went crazy like that. I'm hoping it'll kind of be that way this year, but we'll see. You put that on everything, T. Sharon. She likes chow chow on everything. I had given my son a jar of the pineapple salsa, and I've been meaning to ask him how he liked it, and I never think to ask him because I've never eaten it. And I've got a little jar that I kept for myself, and I've never opened it to try it. I need to open it and try it because I don't even know what it tastes like. I made it by the recipe I had, and I gave it to other people, but I've not even tried it myself. Yeah, I like the homemade chow chow. I wonder where Kai is today, what he's doing. I haven't seen him in chat. April says she loves pineapple salsa. Yeah, I put green tomatoes in my chow chow. And sometimes I spice it up a little bit with maybe a jalapeno, just enough to give it a little bit of heat, not much. But it's basically green tomatoes is what I make chow chow out of. No, I think I was telling Loretta, she said she could never get her beans soft, the dried ones when you cook them. And I was telling her to soak them overnight before she cooks them the next day. And that helps soften them up faster. Yeah, he might be flash flooding if that storm's over his way right now. Didn't think about that. Well, in chow chow you don't use jalapenos. In cowboy candy is what you strictly use jalapenos or any kind of hot pepper. But chow chow is basically like a pickle relish. It's not intended to be hot. So I use green tomatoes, and sometimes in some of it, not all of it, I might put a little bit of jalapeno just to give it a little bit of heat. But it makes a good relish, those green tomatoes do. I've never heard of anybody making chow chow out of jalapenos. You make your cowboy candy with the jalapenos. Yeah, keep your fingers crossed and pray for Kai that he's not getting any bad weather directly where he's at. Green tomatoes, cabbage, onions, bell peppers, and I use the jalapenos. Well, I've put a little bit of cabbage, onions, and peppers in my chow chow sometimes. And I put just a very little bit of jalapenos in there. Because like I said, I don't like it real hot. Not the chow chow. Now, my cowboy candy is nothing but hot peppers. It's jalapenos, chili peppers, cayenne peppers, and any kind of pepper you can think of that you can put in there that's hot. It's in my cowboy candy. Yeah, I've got a cowboy candy video out. It was one of the earlier videos I made a long time ago. But yeah, I've got a cowboy candy one. I've got the chow chow video. So if you look back, you'll find the recipe and how I made the cowboy candy. The most recent one is the cowboy candy relish. The older one, way, way back, is the regular cowboy candy. But you'll have to go back pretty far back, to find that one. Because I think that was one of the first videos I made as far as like cooking or doing anything with something from the garden. And I had a lot of jalapenos and hot peppers that year. I think I planted like 7 different kinds of hot pepper. So every one of those hot peppers were in that cowboy candy. April says I like mild. Well, I put all those peppers in there, but then I use just a little bit when I put it on stuff because I know how hot it is. Yeah, I've got videos on cowboy candy, I've got one on cowboy candy relish. I've got one on chow chow. Yeah, I've got videos on all that. You just have to find them. So far, we've been getting more, but it's starting to get hot now, so we may not get as much rain. I think the next rain we're going to get is like Wednesday of this coming week, if I'm not wrong. I haven't looked at the forecast lately. You like your men hot, but you don't want your cowboy candy that hot, huh? Let's see what they say about our forecast. It's 85 right now, which I'm not complaining. I'd rather have 85 than 35. Well, it don't look like we're going to get rain until probably Saturday. That's a week away. So I'll definitely be watering my garden tomorrow. Might be out there late tonight doing it, so I don't have to wait till in the morning. Yeah, it doesn't show that we're going to get any rain till the 20th. That's Saturday, this coming Saturday. Missouri, that's where you're at. 89. You mean we're warmer here in Texas than you are in Hawaii, April? 74. So we're a good 11 degrees warmer here than you are in Hawaii right now. Yeah, you make cowboy candy, you're going to want to wear rubber gloves. And you know, the gloves I found the best to wear, so you can just throw them away. If you've ever colored your hair, those little thin throwaway plastic gloves come in the box with your hair color. Those are the best things to use to cut up jalapenos because you can use them, don't have to worry about washing them and touching them later. Just pull them off and throw them right in the garbage. That's what I do. Because there was one time there that I was using 2 boxes of hair dye to do my hair each time. So I'd always have an extra set of those gloves and an extra conditioner. So I'd put them in a little compartment under my sink in the bathroom. And I remembered they were there when I needed gloves to put on to cut up those jalapenos. And that's what I wore. I went in there and got one of those extra sets of clear plastic gloves to cut up those jalapenos with. Worked great for me. No, I've never heard of chow chow with cherries. That's a new one on me. But I like chow chow and I like cherries, so I'd probably like it put together. I don't know. But I've never heard of it. Yeah, you breathe the little bit of fumes that come from them peppers, it'll take your breath. And sometimes now I've got to where I put just about everything that I can in my blender and chop it up. Even onions. If I've got very many onions to chop up, I'll throw them in the blender and let the blender do it. That way I don't cry over my knife cutting my onions up. Wild strawberry blossom. Well, I hate especially chopping onions and jalapenos because both of them can give you problems real fast. You cut up them peppers with your bare hands, don't dare rub your face. And I don't care how many times you wash your hands, that oil from that hot pepper is still on your skin. You touch your eyes or your face, it's going to burn. I know it's happened to me. That's why I started wearing gloves. On the thumbnail picture. Oh, really, Connie? I didn't know that. What about the on the thumbnail picture? You've lost me, Ashley. Coffee time. Oh, strawberry blossom. It was on the thumbnail picture. Oh, that's what you're talking about. I couldn't imagine it's like on the thumbnail picture of that flower. But no, I've never had cherries in my chow chow before. I know they're really pretty this year, the ones that have come up. And I've got 1,000,001 smaller ones that popped up out of the ground from the seeds that fell last year. I mean, they're in clumps. And I need to get out there and dig them up and thin them out and replant them. But I'm going to have to wait till one day when it rains good so the ground's real wet. And you know, the thing about moonflowers, one reason they grow good here in Texas is because they put down roots that look like they're a mile long. I mean, I was amazed the first time I pulled one of the moonflower plants up. That root was that long. It looked like a tap root going straight down. If it had grown fatter, it would have turned into a turnip or a carrot or something. Oh, a friend of yours gave you a recipe for chow chow with cherries a long time ago. Recipes are gone now. Well, maybe they just added cherries to the chow chow. They could have went by the regular recipe and just added cherries to it. Yeah, chocolate and cherry smoothie. That sounds good, April. On a hot day, yeah, that sounds real good because I like cherries and I like chocolate, and that would be cold. So, yeah, I could just taste one right now. And I never have come across those ballet shoes. I'm hoping I didn't get them mixed up with the trash and throwed them out when I was doing that bedroom floor in that little bedroom. Because I may have accidentally got them in with the trash and threw them out. Who knows? But I can't find them. You like iced tea with fruit? Yeah, that sounds good too. Yeah, but she said her recipes are gone now, Connie. But I'm thinking you probably just add cherries to your tomatoes. I would think there's not a whole lot of difference to make to the recipe, probably. I can look it up on the internet and see too if they've got a recipe on the internet for chow chow with cherries. Everything would go better with cherries. In fact, I'm looking right now. Well, the first recipe that comes up says cherry chow chow, but it ain't the chow chow you're thinking about, nor what I was thinking about. Because it starts out by saying, spread first crumb mixture on bottom of pan, mix marshmallows with whipped cream, spread on crumb mixture. So that's not the chow chow we're thinking about. But here's another one. It says chow chow cherry recipe. Yeah, see, this is like a cake. 1 cup graham wafer crumbs, 1/4 cup butter, 3 tablespoons icing sugar, 1 cup whipping cream, 4 cups miniature marshmallow. Yeah, that's not the chow chow we're thinking of. I mean, they come up with some recipes for cherry chow chow, but it's a dessert. It's not the chow chow we're thinking of. I mean, I've put red bell pepper in my chow chow sometimes just to give it some color with the green if I have them. Yeah, but it's not telling you to put cherries in like some green tomato chow chow. I don't know. Sheila said I made a few of them. You got a gnome the other day? I bet he's cute. Oh, we got RC Van Man. Hello, welcome. I didn't even see you pop in. I love iced tea too with a cherry on top. Kathy 2010 says she's back. Good old sturdy turn plow. How did that get in there? I know I can't walk in a garden center without coming out with something. And that was the first flowers of any type, bulbs or not, that I bought this year. Everything else came from seeds that I already had, or it came from seeds that the anonymous senders sent me, or some of the other subscribers sent. I did not buy anything to plant in the garden this year. It was all there. It was all given to me, or all that I had saved from last year. I had to make an order. Oh, me. Nah, boy. I need a leaf blower. I've got one, but I hate using it. I mean, it's good to use because it makes it easier to get rid of the leaves and stuff on the sidewalk, but it stirs up so much dust. I almost have to wear an oxygen mask to use my leaf blower. Oh, that's so cute, Connie. She made a gnome with his little pants falling down. His little bottom shows. That'd be so cute. Oh, Shelly's back with a fudge sickle. I hope you brought one for everybody. I haven't eaten a fudge sickle in a long time. Oh, wow. You had to buy a weed eater, and my son got me a riding lawnmower for Mother's Day. She's got a whole box full of fudge sickles. I don't know what happened to Randy. I mean, she was in here in the beginning, and I've not seen her back in since. She may be working. I don't know. She was here a little bit ago. Maybe her pad turned off with her. Can you send me two on email? I've never made a gnome. I don't know. I save my fudge sickles for dessert. I will keep it under my pillow. Oh my God, I would not want to have to go over 2 acres with a push mower. No. My son has a riding lawnmower because he's got acres to mow, not just a yard. But the way my yard is, my push mower, my weed eater, edge trimmer, big wheel mower is about the only thing that you can really mow here with. And basically, you just have to walk behind it. It kind of moves itself. But you get tired of walking behind it, that's for sure, by the time you get your yard mowed. And you know, when I mowed the last time, the thing would not cut off. I got tired and I was going to take a break, and the mower would not turn off. It kept running. No matter what I did, it kept running. So I finally gave up and I said, well, heck, I'm just going to keep mowing, and maybe by the time I get finished, the gas will run out and it'll cut off. Well, I kept mowing, and I didn't get it all mowed, but it did turn off because it ran out of gas. So then later, after I rested a bit, I put gas back in it, but just enough that I thought it would take to mow the rest of the yard. And it started right up. And it ran out of gas just as I was finishing mowing. And I told my son about it. And there must be some kind of lever up under there somehow, because he asked me for a flashlight so he could see down under this one section. And I'm going to have to get the flashlight and look for myself, because I didn't look that day. But after he pulled the cord, it fired right up. He released the bar on the handle, and it cut right off. So there must have been a lever under there. I don't know. Something must have just got hung up. Maybe a stick or something got wedged up in there on that lever, and it wouldn't let it turn off. Oh, man. But I was having a time with that thing. Well, have a good time, April. She's secretly going out to watch those Italian men in their Speedos. That's what she's doing. Don't let her for 1 minute fool you thinking that April is going out to take care of animals or go back to work. She's got those good-looking Italians on that beach close to her house, and she's out there watching them. April says I'm working my booty off. You know I was teasing you. I mean, I just had to tease you about that. Oh, man. Getting sleepy. I was up pretty late last night working on that floor, and then I did not want to get up this morning. I think it was about 9:30 when I finally rolled out of the bed. And then I still felt like an 18-wheeler had run over me. And we probably won't be on here too much longer anyway. We've been on almost 2 hours already. Yeah, be nice. I did one video before, where people sent in pictures of their, I think some of it was their garden, some of it was just individual plants, some of it was flowers. Oh, me. We can do something like that again, I guess. Wait till everybody's garden gets in full bloom, and maybe we'll do one. Well, have a good evening, Linda Blaylock. If you're leaving us, have a good day tomorrow. Your irises are going crazy. Well, good, Shelley. My bearded iris are finally all opening. Sheila said, what garden? Shelley Edwards said, I use blow. What? Bloombuster. Oh, okay. I didn't know what. I couldn't imagine what in the world she's talking about when she said she used blow. Never heard of it. Rhonda, you have a good night too. Have a good day tomorrow. And thanks for stopping by. It went too fast, I know. You get busy chatting with everybody and you're getting involved in the conversation, and time flies before you know it. And I'm thinking maybe Kai does have bad weather probably in his neighborhood, and that might be the reason he's not been in chat today. Hope everything goes okay with him. And T. Sharon says, got to cook for the grands. Okay, T. Sharon. Well, ladies, it's been good. Glad everybody could come by and chat with everyone else. And I've enjoyed it, and I know you have too. So we'll do it again, hopefully Thursday, if not before. So y'all have a blessed evening. Have a good day tomorrow. Have a blessed week. And we'll see you on the next live. Take care. And I love y'all.